Well, it's within touching distance now, you know, and it's very hard to see how it's going to be stopped. You know, when you see 3:22 there today, missing the 3 players at the start, and Henry Shefflin goes off, Brian Hogan goes off. They can take off 2 or 3 more players. It just shows the strength of their panel. But it's the overall work ethic of the whole team. You know, the team is what matters. It's not individuals, whether they're management, whether they're players. It's the work rate of the team that are out there, and the way they support each other on the field is just you know, we've never seen a team do this before. And you know, the little doubts there were before they came into the game, the doubt about the goalie, the doubt about Noel Hickey at full back, all late to rest, they were brilliant. The wides they had earlier on, especially against Galway, very few wides today. A real clinical performance, allied to some massive, brilliant individual performance as well. You know, what a team. And I think today is everything has been laid to rest after today about the greatness of this team.
Yes.
We have never seen a team like this before. It's as simple as that. And when they could do what they did today, without the players that they had, against a team of Cork's quality, who in fairness now behaved very honourably.
Yes.
And never gave up. They won the second half, whatever that means, you know, but like, they are some team, and you know, how are they going to be stopped now from the 5 in a row?
That's the big question. Let's hear from the Kilkenny manager, Brian Cody. He's talking to Marty Morrissey.
Thank you very much, Michael. Brian, thank you for coming into our interview room here. Well done, congratulations. Awesome performance. Probably the best we've seen in Croke Park for a long, long time.
Well, I don't know, Marty, about that. To be honest about it, we just came up to try and win the game, and you know, we're very, very happy to win the game. The big prize for semi-final day always, you're in the All-Ireland final, and otherwise your year is over. So thanks be to God, we'll be here again in a few weeks' time.
I know words like awesome and brilliance, it's associated with this Kilkenny team, but when you think that John Tennyson was out, Brian Hogan picked up a shoulder injury, Henry Shefflin has a knee problem, and it didn't look like the balance was intimidated or affected in any way.
Well, I mean, the panel is what's most important of all, you know, and we constantly say we have confidence in the panel. You know, the panel has been tested, it was tested before, and it'll be tested again. So, I mean, if somebody steps out, I hate to see a fella being injured, it's cruel on himself, but somebody steps in to take his place and does the job for the team, and that's what's required.
Is it all about the competition for places? Is that what makes this adrenaline rush every time Kilkenny come onto the field?
I don't know. I mean, we don't think about what other people's perception is. You know, we just go up and play hurling and prepare for hurling matches, and you know, try and play as well as we possibly can as a team, and you know, give it absolutely everything. You know, and that's in fairness what the lads do, and you know, they did it again today.
Is there much talk in Kilkenny about the 5 in a row?
I've no idea, to be honest, because I'm not thinking about anything at all. I mean, I was thinking about today's match, and nothing can be won. No finals can be won until you're in it. We're in the All-Ireland final now, and whatever talk there will be, but our focus won't change.
What about Brian Hogan and Henry Shefflin? What is the latest on them?
Serious concern, obviously, because the 2 lads wouldn't consider even going off for a niggle. You know, they're serious injuries. Don't know what the story is really yet at all. We'll have to get them assessed and see. But obviously they're huge players. You're talking about centre back and centre forward today. Both of them playing very, very well. And we'll leave no stone unturned, obviously, to have them back as quickly as possible. Looking forward to another All-Ireland final? Yeah, it's terrific. I love coming up next Sunday to see the other All-Ireland semi-final when we've won. And we have Tip and Water for next Sunday. We'll play the winners, and you know, we'll prepare for that. Brian Cody, well done. Congratulations. Thanks, Marty.
Thoughts of Brian Cody, the Kilkenny manager there. Tomas Mackay, let's talk about this from a Cork point of view. I mentioned before the match that 2 years ago you lost by nine points to them, but this was different class altogether. Oh, absolutely, Michael. And look, you've got to put your hands up and say, yeah, we were blown away when at the critical stage in the game, with the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, we were blown away. And Cork can't have any answers or questions about or anything like that about the result. I mean, at the end of the day, they are a very, very polished unit. They showed serious aggression in the tackle. They showed serious hunger to fight for every ball, and that's down to the last minute. And Brian Cody mentioned about their panel and about their strength and depth. One guy goes off, it's bad luck if it's an injury. One guy comes in and he's delighted with the opportunity, and he wants to grasp that opportunity, and he wants to play for the Kilkenny jersey, you know. I mean, second half, yeah, Cork probably finished with their best team in the second half period, you know. So I think when Dennis Walsh maybe looks back on that, he'll say to himself, maybe there could have been a few changes made earlier on in that first half period again, because a lot of players were struggling. It was a lot of very physical for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and it seemed to take an awful lot of out of the Cork guys. They lost the energy and levels, and particularly around the middle of the park as well. And it was non-stop from Kilkenny. And I mean,
a lot of these guys will ask themselves from a Cork perspective, is this the end of the road, Michael, and stuff like that as well. And they don't owe anything to Cork hurling. They've given great joy to Cork supporters over the last 10 years. And if it is the end of the day, it has to come for us all, it happened to us all. Exactly. That'll be it, you know, and they can look back on it in pride and stuff like that. Today wasn't to be their day, they were beaten by a way better team.
But one thing about it, Cyril Farrell, is that we've talked about the strength of the Kilkenny bench. You can still only put 15 out in the field, and at the start of the match, Cork weren't using their 15 players. Some of their forwards were standing there, didn't see the ball at all.
Yeah, well, it's just like, you know, the midfield for Kilkenny today was awesome. Michael Finlay and Cha Fitz. The problem in the next is Cha will still be on. I think Michael Rice will get back in centre forward. Michael Finlay today stood up. He kind of proved the player it could be, and the same with Richie Power. They stood up as kind of they're always threatened to do this, but now they're up with the Henry Sheffs of this world. But then when you have your half back line, Tinnison, you know, the days were missing, but Ryan came on quite played well. But you have Jackie Tyrrell quarterback, got a roasting today from Pat Howard, but you find the next day probably be good. But Hickey full back, enormous, and the half back line again. When the pressure was on, when it had to be won, they got on top, and they went for the goals there. And as Tomas said, like, that game was won in about 15 or 20 minutes the first half. Once they won the battles, but they're very, very strong, very, very good, very, very skillful, and there's no doubt about it, they are the best team we've ever seen.
Okay, we're going to take another short break here on the programme. Back with more on this afternoon's All-RC.
Yes, Cha, wonderful performance. I'm sure it'll be rated as one of the best we've ever seen. Being part of this squad, what is it like?
It's tough going, really. I suppose coming into today, we had a few injury concerns there. John Tennyson received an awful blow with his cruciate ligament, and Brian Hogan received a knock in training. So, and I suppose the first half we lost Brian and we lost Henry Shefflin. So I suppose the strength of the squad, you've players to step in and do the job. I suppose Martin Comfort jumped in straight away and scored a point, but it's a huge competition there. I suppose it's really hard to get your place on the team. If you were guaranteed your place on the team, I suppose you wouldn't put in the same work rate, you know. But huge competition, but it's a privilege to be part of it all.
You know, most teams wouldn't do without their centre back, but their centre back, their centre forward, all injured. And indeed, even when they took you off, Derek Ling, who has how many All-Irelands, came on for you.
Yeah, it's incredible when you just look at the bench, and I suppose centre forward and centre back are pivotal positions in the game of hurling, you know. So a strong man to come in there, James Ryle, no problem at all. But I suppose it's the level of confidence within ourselves, you know, and huge work rate that goes into it.
You wouldn't want to catch a cold in the next 4 weeks, would you?
No, you wouldn't want it. So any slip up at all, and someone else to be in, you know. So it's I suppose full steam ahead for the All-Ireland final.
And Cha, from a player's perspective, is there a lot of pressure, the fact that there will be talk about the 5 in a row? And I'm sure there's been talk about the 5 in a row over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I suppose players can use whatever they want to motivate themselves. 5 in a row, or I suppose as Brian Cody says, just to win the next game. Worry about your performance, and I suppose the scoreboard never matters. The scoreboard only matters at the end of the game, you know. And if we worry about our performance, the scoreboard will take care of itself.
Well, Michael Dagnan in his commentary with Jar said that Kilkenny people know their hurling. You got a standing ovation when you came off the pitch today, so well done to you and everybody in Kilkenny.
Thanks a million, Marty.
All right, still far to Tomas McCahey and Gerlach Nan here with me in the studio. One of the things about it, gentlemen, is we'll say somebody like Cha Fitzpatrick was on the team a couple of years ago. If you're not firing on all cylinders for whatever reason, there's no place for you.
I think the key, absolutely it is. But I think the key there as well, I mean, you're looking at their panel and stuff like that as well, and you say Richie Hogan took a knock in training, Michael Kavanagh seemingly broke a finger in training. It shows the level of competition, that's it, the intensity that's in training. And they say you play the way you train, and they're bringing that to Croke Park every time, you know.
So the number one thing is trying to get on the Kilkenny panel. That's a massive battle to get in.
Get on the first place,
like Kieran Joyce and all, Pat Hartley, all those great fellas we saw at Fitzgibbon, they didn't even get on the Kilkenny panel. Now 24 and 25, their chance is gone. Now they see a minor team here today with 5 or 6 really fellas of great potential. So the battle is to stay on the panel, and then when you're on the panel, to get on the team. And now, to be on the team for the 5 in a row, to step out in the Croke Park as a starting 15. Can you imagine the battles there'll be in training between now?
There'll be a few more broken fingers.
That's for sure.
Well, you know,
and that's the secret.
secret.
And like Cody keeps it so low key, so there'll be no talk of the 5 in a row. The battle will be to get on that first 15. So that'll deflate completely from the pressure of the 5 in a row. The battle will be not to win the 5 in a row, but to get on that starting 15 for the first Sunday in September.
Coming back to the Kilkenny minor team we saw earlier on, giving Galway, same as the senior match, a very big beating in that, and 3-4 of their players will almost definitely make it, but they won't be rushed through. They won't be like Ollie Canning, who came straight out of the Galway minor team onto the Galway senior team, or at least they would have wanted him to do it in the first case. Let's say
most of these
guys you might see for 2 or 3 years.
They'll go. Most of them will go. They all go to third level. They'll be playing Fitzgibbon hurling for some team. And the likes of John Dalton, he's on this year. He's 5 years in that panel as they tried to get on. These fellas, John Tennyson, who's got injured, they do it in apprenticeship. They don't really walk on. And even the likes of, say, Richie Hogan was painted up as a kind of a white-haired boy early on. You find now he's on the panel and he wasn't even brought on today. That's what makes them so good. And as Gerard said there, the intensity in training, like they're raw strong, they're very fit, they're very physical, they have great skill, but they have the whole lot together, and they're willing to take the hard knocks to do that in training as well. You look at Chad there. Okay, they took him off near the end, he got a standing ovation. But he knows well, Ling is going well in training, Michael Finley is there, Michael Rice. You might find the next year, I still think Rice might be centre forward. If Henry is injured, Rice could slot in centre forward and Chad hold on. But Chad knows well that if everyone is fit, he'd have a hard job because Rice is kind of in possession. So that's what makes it so good.
But the whole tone has been set by Cody, though. You know, Cody sets the whole tone of that. You know, what happened yesterday doesn't matter. It's what happened today. It's what happens tomorrow.
But sure, they play a simple brand. They play a simple brand.
I know,
of hurling,
but to be able to keep that focus, though, you know, so many teams lose.